So many of you who watch my channel regularly may remember I did this video on how to install wallpaper in challenging geometric shapes. And I showed you a method of proceeding. And now today I want to show you another method. And it simply involves suctioning the wall covering to the outer shape. Okay.
Okay, so I figured I would leave this video intact, but I'm going to speed frame it so that you could see how it looks going 100 miles an hour, because I thought it looked pretty good. So I already posted the video that I'm speaking into right now, but I'm just going to fast frame it, and then at the end of it will be a new video on the last piece that I had to do, just to show you how once again we do this. And I hope you like the video. Please click on like. This job took a long time. This was probably one of the most intricate installations I've ever done. So I'd appreciate if you gave some feedback, made a comment, and put a like on the video. Thanks for watching.
So the last time we did this, I emphasized the need to avoid this, gravity taking it down. There's many things you can do, like use push pins into the wood. But let's face it, that's going to make a hole in the wood. You can use tape. That's not going to be a problem. A lot of things you can do. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat. So I'm showing you two alternatives. The other way I showed you on the last video is time consuming. However, I should say, hold on a second. On the last video, I had double panels. So on this video, you might say, well, why didn't you do this on the last? There are, I think, 5 geometric patterns on the ceiling that require a double cut because the shape itself exceeds the width of the wallpaper roll. And so how I decided to use a template, because getting up there with 2 sheets and then figuring out. On the other hand, I could have just simply used a half sheet on one and a half sheet on the other. So anyway, I'm giving you, based on my experience, the different ways that you can do this. And essentially, to each his own, right? I mean, but you got to figure out what works best for you. For example, let me give you an example. To be honest with you, for the life of me, I cannot understand why my esteemed colleagues, and this is no knock, from Ireland and Great Britain, they use a pasting brush. I mean, I love watching it. It's good ASMR. But to me, it's such an expensive time, an expenditure of time. But that's the way it goes. That's the way they do it. And I respect that. I just couldn't see doing that. You know what it makes me realize? We're just taught to do things one way and we stick by it, all of us, human beings in general. So now, that's the way I do it. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, yep, that's how we do it. And, you know, I respect it. There was a tragic event in New York where the police shot a young man. And it turned out that the police had given him commands in English. And apparently the young man didn't understand the commands. And the man was subsequently shot and killed. You may have heard the case, or you may be too young to have heard the case. His name was Amadou Diallo. And it brought nationwide attention on the police. Rightfully so. It turned out that the young man was in possession of what the police believed was a deadly weapon. It was in the dark. It turned out to be a beeper. remember the days when we used to use beepers. And it was just a tragic event. His name was Amadou Diallo. And very tragic. This is when I was a police officer. Back in the early 90s. But it was interesting because the family will never recover from their sadness, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, they lost a young boy as their son. However, the mother had a new baby boy, and she named the child after her deceased son, Amadou. But oddly, she changed the child's last name. Yeah, I just saw this in the news. She changed the name of the child to Amadou, what the police tell me to do. And I thought that was pretty interesting, considering, you know. Anyway, I wish the family well. And I hope, you know, everything works out. All right, folks, after you see one, you've seen them all, right? I know who's going to be happy, I'll tell you right now. Mrs. Colgan. They wrote a song for my wife. And it was written, I don't know who wrote it, but I know who sang it, and I can't remember the guy's name right now. And it goes something like this. Did you happen to see the most beautiful girl in the world? Tell her I love her. Tell her I need my baby. Oh, tell her I love her. My father used to sing that for my mother. My wife is crazy about me. I honestly don't know why. I'm not just saying that. She's crazy about me. How many guys out there come home to a beautiful woman waiting for them? Now, let me explain what I mean. It's not just she's there waiting. She's there waiting. And I mean waiting. She's waiting at the door. How was your day, honey? It was all right. It's all right. The beauty of marriage, you know? Truly amazing. Anyway, she's recently been accustomed to making me healthy snacks. Have you ever had kale chips? Try it. Get yourself, the vegetable kale. Put some oil on it. Separate them, put them on a cookie sheet, put it in the oven, 350. I think it's about 9 minutes. And they will crisp. You put oil and salt. Delicious. Honey, would you like your kale chips? Yes, baby. Honey, would you like your Pinot Noir? Yes, honey. You know what? Can I tell you something? Men, in a good way, envy other men who speak so highly of their wives. There's something about a man who recognizes the gift in his wife. Right? I had a dream last night. Some guy was behind me on a staircase. And I was walking up the staircase. It was like the back staircase of a nice hotel. And the steps were carpeted. As I accelerated my speed, he accelerated his. And I started becoming alarmed that he was following me. So in my dream, I turned to him and I said, "Are you following me?" And he reached out to grab me. And I can't remember exact incident, but it was about wallpaper. It was a dispute I had with somebody over wallpaper. That's all I can tell you. That's it. And so I woke up, kind of startled, you know. And I opened up my Douay Reams Bible. And I read 1 Corinthians 13. For some reason. Because I wanted to see if I died, would I be guilty of love? In other words, if I went on trial for my love or lack thereof, would I be found guilty in the positive way? Anyway. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you are guilty of charity. Now, some people aren't going to like that. But you know what? Too bad. Too bad. Who's going to be on my judgment? None of my viewers. No? Anyway, check this out. For those of you who are interested. After I read that, I went to 1 Corinthians chapter 16. Read that. I never read it before. 1 Corinthians chapter 16. And if you do, look up the word Maranthana. Maranthane. A-N-A. I meant. St. Jerome and St. John Chrysostom says that it means the Lord has already come. Anyway. That's what I was doing at 3 in the morning. Did you happen to see the most beautiful girl in the world? Now, many of you don't know this. My wife is actually a lot younger than I am. So when we go out to eat, I tell the hostess or host, I'll have a table for my daughter and her children, please. Yes, sir. I embarrass her all the time. And then they'll look at me and say, are you waiting for someone too? Like, maybe my wife? I'm like, no, I'm not. We all have a big laugh. And then the host always swears that they knew I was kidding. Because, it's bad for business, man. They're telling me I'm old. Okay. All right, let me smooth this out and get rid of those wrinkles. Get right back to you. There you have it. Hope you like it. I love it. Love it.